Let's say I had kids. Let's say I just threw out all logic and I decided to have children. What would happen to them after they're done enjoying the good parts of life? Is that the right thing to do if I know that the good parts of life are fleeting? 10% good, 90% survival and bad. What kind of a person would I be knowing that and I would still decide to just ignore it and try to fulfill a biological need, a desire, a want? Is that ethical? What kind of a spirit walker would I be if I did something like that? Would I be able to stand up and look at myself in the mirror knowing that my children are going to have to face the most horrible things, and not just one time, not just sometimes, but at their every waking moment, they will have to fight and play dumb and keep their head down and watch their mouth and look around with their eyeballs until they rot in their skin? What kind of a person would I be if I subjected somebody to something like that? Where dentists have to get in their mouth and drill in their mouth, where diseases and plagues happen every couple of years, purposely, intentionally, to weed out the weak, to keep everybody in fear. I had some beautiful moments here on earth. Was it worth it? I don't know. I don't know. Would you willingly go into the fantasy depiction of hell just so you could eat a lollipop and taste some good food here and there? Would it be worth it to go into our depiction of hell just to get a couple of good things out of it? If you stand back on the outside, you would say no. Hell no, right? So what's the difference? That being the case, I'm going to have to say no. If I was if I died right now and I turned into some cosmic entity on a grand scale and I was able to take Earth, or if I saw Earth in like a globe or something, or like a, I don't know, if I was able to stand outside of this place, I would quarantine this, or I would quarantine Earth. I would quarantine the Milky Way galaxy. I would say that this is forbidden. No spirit should come here. Nobody should come here. I would ban this place and I would deem it forbidden. I would lock the door behind whatever's containing it, and I would chop the key up into a million pieces, and I would scatter them throughout the galaxy or the universe or whatever. I would scatter them, and I would put quarantine tape over the door, caution tape. And then when you open one door, like let's say it's no one cares about that, then they open the door anyways because they're curious. I'll make sure that there was another door that they would have to get through. And then I want that door to be covered in red. And then I would put, I said, caution. It's not a good place to go to. And then when you open that door, I put another door, and I said, I would put last chance. I would put 3 doors up, and I would scatter all the keys throughout the galaxy. That way, you really get the picture that this is not the place to be. It breaks my heart just thinking about it. You know, I really did want a family. But all the women out here ain't looking for that. The majority of women, like 99% of women, are just looking for a good time. When you're young, they're looking to have fun. And then when you try to have fun with them, they say they want a mature man. Then when you become mature and then you meet them with mature topics, they go, you're acting like an old man. They want a young guy now. It's goofy. This place is goofy. And I wouldn't want to raise my children in a goofy place like this, that they too could be disappointed by the ever-changing moods and mindsets of other people. Because other people are hell. Other people is hell. It would have been nice to have my children jump on my bed and say daddy or something. And I look at them like, wow, I created them. But you know what? Even that's creepy. Because where did they come from? What the fuck? I don't even know what's in the universe out there. So how did these entities manifest? Strange. Strange dimensional stuff. I wouldn't even feel comfortable if some children who claim to be pieces of me jumped on me and called me daddy. Who the fuck are you? I've been around for 30-something years, and now here you are, you fucking random manifestation. Get me out of here. See, I've gone too far in my mind. It's best if I don't become a father. I have to go to work in a couple of hours. I work inside of a haunted mansion that sometimes masquerade as not haunted. But when I first got there, it was haunted. For sure it was haunted. One time I opened up a door in the house that I worked in, and I saw a ball just bouncing up and down. And then right when I said, what? And I looked at it, it just stopped and rolled towards my feet. That's haunted. The place that I go to get my money is haunted. And then the moments where it seems like it's not haunted, and I think that everything's cool, I realize that the spirit has jumped inside of my coworkers. And they walk around evil, and they try to set you up for failure, or they talk about you behind your back, and they always have some weird energy. It jumps from coworker to coworker. It's hurtful. It's diabolical. When I first got there, there was a bunch of um, we like watch over clients, and when I first got there, me and my other coworkers saw it too. But there used to be floating entities above our clients, and then we would look again, they weren't there, and then we would see them in our peripheral vision. We would see uh, dark figures floating above our clients, like sucking the life out of them or something when they were sleeping. Because you know these demons are cowards. They only appear when you're in your most vulnerable states. So they appear when you're sleeping. The motherfuckers. Pathetic weasel ass spirits. I thought I was crazy until I made some public announcements to it on my job communication chats. And then everybody else said that they saw it too. And then they all pretend like it didn't happen. And then just kept then days later they just fell into still being evil. They just let it take over them because they don't believe. How you gonna not believe when 5 or 6 people say that they saw the same thing? And then whenever I bring up topics, they look at me like I'm missing a link or something. You know what? I can't wait to bring my children into a world like this. Not. Did you hear what I just said about the spirits hovering above the clients that I watch, sucking out their soul, jumping from one body to another to the people who don't believe? Making us work 40 to 80 hours every 2 weeks for pennies? While you at work, your partner cheating on you, getting into other stuff, because you know the majority of people, especially women, I hate to say it, but you know what though, it's not just women, it's men too, but especially women though. Idle hands do the devil's work. And if you don't have no skill to practice or no art craft to put your mind into, or if you just go home and watch TV and look at the damn wall and do your hair and your nails, you're gonna get into some diabolical shit. Because where you lack purpose, you seek pleasure. It's some dark shit. Um, it's sad. Honestly, it's sad. I wouldn't want to put my son through these trials, even though it's not really my son. I'm just the vessel, the illusion of how the spirit got extracted to be here for that spirit's lesson. They have to learn lessons, and I would just be the conduit, the illusion of the conduit of how they got here. That's not my son. That's just a random consciousness from outer space. That's God's son. It's not my son. I would just be the illusion of how they got here, so that they could make sense of their prison. Your daughter's not your daughter. Your son's not your son if you have children. How are they your son if they were already conscious before they got here, or if they were a consciousness in the outer space before they got them? That means that something else birthed them. We're just vessels to define their prison and how they got here, to make up an origin story for them. You know, the last thing I want to do is get up and go sit somewhere and toil and then come back home and be grateful for it. Every day, every day, day in, day out, 5 days a week, 6 days a week, every other week. You get a day and a half to yourself. Imagine the people who are in prison right now. They get out of prison and they go, "I'm free." mm, mm, mm. They go from one prison to another prison. It's a prison inside of a prison inside of a prison. I bet God's a prisoner. God is probably a prisoner as well. Maybe that's why he's letting all this crap happen to us, because he's a prisoner as well. You know, my greatest desire is to be happy. But how can a slave find happiness? I keep making these videos because I'm getting angrier and more tired and more fed up with being fake. I don't want to plan content. I don't want to watch what I say because I might lose a subscriber or something. I just want to give it to it raw. And you know what's raw? Is that this is a miserable place. It's a miserable creation. Earth is a level of hell, because I'm sure it could get much worse. And I'm sure it will. I'm sure it will. Everybody out here is acting